Hey everybody, welcome to BrickVault. My name's Jack and today we are reviewing the LEGO Ninjago movie set, GARMADON GARMADON GARMADON. This set is recommended for ages 9 to 14. It is set number 70656 and it has 830 pieces. Included are 6 minifigs. And building this thing on live stream took around 2 hours. It's a relatively quick build and I had a pretty good time putting it together. Here's a little bit more of the live stream and we'll jump right into the review. Alright, now there's a lot of stuff that I really like about Garmadon's Shark Mech, and we're going to get into that in just 1 minute. First, I want to take a look at the 6 minifigures. 3 of them are exclusive to this set, and starting off with my favorite minifig, this is Nancy, I believe, from the movie, and she's got a pretty awesome exclusive print. Underneath the jacket, you can see an M-Tron t-shirt, which is a great sort of classic throwback, and she comes with an exclusive print for her face, showing a smiling sort of braces headgear print. One expression does show sort of a slightly bigger smile, but the main differences are you can see sort of the eyebrows change as well. Now, Namus is also really looked forward to, I think, from people that are looking at this set. He's the hot dog guy. The expressions printed on his face are exclusive, though obviously the mold for his body is pretty much the exact same, I think, from the collectible series number 13. But the expression for his face is awesome, and everybody loves the mold for the hot dog guy piece. So I have a feeling these 2 minifigs are going to be sought after the most. Now, this is Hammerhead. He is technically exclusive. He's got a face print that appeared on a different character from the Lightning Jet set, so the parts that make him up have appeared everywhere else, just in a slightly different combination. But I think the Hammerhead headpiece for this minifigure is probably one of the cooler ones that comes from all the different Shark Army characters. Now, the set also came with Garmadon. He's got his sort of smirking expression, some fairly simple prints that go along the front, and nothing on the back. Lloyd also came in the set. He also comes with pretty much the same detailing that you'll see him in most of the sets from the LEGO Ninjago movie line, and he also has the same set of expressions. Last fig is Frank here. He's got a different print for sort of the Shark Army uniform. This time he's got sleeveless arms, an awesome print for the face showing a disgruntled sort of unshaven beard and an eye patch. And also my favorite part about this guy, like last time, is the nougaty or sort of dark orange mold that is used for his beanie. Alright, so those are the minifigs. I kind of went through them a little bit quickly. I just really want to get to this awesome Shark Mech. This, I think, is called Garmadon's Shark Mech. I can't honestly think of another name that it could possibly be, and I'm gonna say right off the bat that this is super nostalgic for me because the design of this particular sort of sharky robotic thing, this vehicle that we're looking at, is very, very reminiscent to an old game that I used to play, Mech Warriors. It's got a similar sort of leg design and even sort of front head or front cockpit shaped design as one of the more iconic vehicles from the game, and I can't help but think that this might not be an accident from the designer's point. Who knows, that's just my own personal interjection. But what's so great about this particular build here is that it's the same color combination as the rest of the sort of Shark Army vehicles, except the colors here actually are the perfect match for what a shark looks like. So it feels like there's no accident that this would be the flagship, so to speak, of the Shark Army. And in terms of it being sort of a great build quality, I feel like it's definitely earned its right. Now, going through the features, I guess let's start low and go high. So here are the feet and legs. I love that LEGO decided to sort of employ a very iconic build design from so many mechs from different franchises in the past. This is the first time we've seen this sort of bird-like leg design in a LEGO set, I think, and it's one of the defining features that really kind of changes up the look of this build sort of entirely. You can also see that the feet have these sort of talon-like pieces. They're purely aesthetic. They kind of add sort of a bird-like quality to the build, you know, that go along with the shape of the legs. And while we're down here, you can also see some nice detailing that show the hoses that I guess would be transferring maybe fluid to the hydraulics. You don't really know. It's kind of a nice detail to add. And just above that, you can see the build for the ratcheted joints. These are the only parts of the legs that can move, and though technically you can ratchet the joints further than 2 points going forward and also further than 2 points going back, when you look at how this vehicle sort of stands when you use the different ratcheted points, 2 notches in either direction is the maximum. The first ratcheted point looks pretty good, kind of leaning forward. It's got a decent amount of stability, and the second point forward looks like the shark's face is touching the ground. There's still a little bit of space between there. And then this is the shark from sort of the first ratcheted back. angle, and once you go to the second point leaning back, the tail is actually dragging against the ground. For one, I'm pretty glad that they managed to get any mobility in this build at all, considering it's so dang top heavy, but in case you're wondering, you cannot pose this thing in a walking position. It'll just pretty much fall over. Moving up from the legs, we've got our two spring-loaded sort of cannon pieces. They're not spring-loaded shooters or like the smaller ones. These are the much bigger ones. Definitely pack a much larger punch. This hot dog stand getting shot over is a pretty good example of that. I'm pretty sure a normal spring-loaded shooter couldn't do something like that. And if you want to hit a minifig, it's probably best to lean the shark down. Next to either cannon, we've also got a little propeller piece. It's posable, you can spin the propeller, and it's also one of the biggest and sort of most easy to see yellow accent part that is on this build. Towards the back, you also have another sort of maybe gas tank or something that's sort of exposed. And then when you check out all the way in the back, we have this nice fin, the tail of the shark. I like the look of these attachments, and they also serve a double purpose to keep the sort of opposite ends of the studs for both sides of the tail totally together. Now there's one more detail by the legs I definitely need to point out. This is a large black gear piece that is attached to a Technic part that carries the coolest function in the set, which is allowing the shark to chomp its mouth open and close. It remains relatively well hidden, and the function is super easy. You can do it one-handed, and you can even pick up the entire build and swoosh it around, still chomping the mouth open and closed one-handed. As for the detailing of the face and mouth, I think we got a really cool look for the shark. It looks really angry. I like the sort of red gums that stick out between the layer of the teeth, and it's pretty strong. There is a little bit of gray that kind of sticks onto the top part of the teeth on the upper layer, and looking at it from down below, you can see a bit more sort of supporting pieces that might not look the best, but as long as this mouth can actually chomp a minifigure and stay there without dropping it, I would consider this a really successful function. Now here's a marked detail I think that could have been improved. We've got the build for the gills, but if they're kinked forward a little bit, I feel like we could have gotten space for maybe 2 more of those sort of spoiler pieces, and the gaps would have been smaller, and I think it would have been kind of a cooler look for the shark. Now this is a mechanical vehicle after all, so we do have to have pilots. This front part comes completely off, periscope and all, and the interior is designed to have Garmadon on the inside. So it's a bit deeper, and if you want them to fit correctly, you can't stand them up. You actually have to have them in a sitting down position, and that's the only way the top is really gonna close all the way. Here's me trying to give you a better look of what the inside of this looks like. There isn't really a whole lot of detailing. I guess there doesn't really need to be because you can barely sort of see the inside. And then I was confused about those 2 studs on the deeper section here. I was wondering if maybe I could fit another minifig inside, maybe sitting down, but no, it's not the case. They have to be sort of loosely in the front part of the cockpit in order for it to work. Now moving back, this is the gunner's seat. So the guns are actually kind of little posable pieces that are attached to sort of the part that you take off for fitting a guy inside. This is a really finicky function. The minifigure does not fit. If you try to sit him down, he has to be standing up. And after going through the trouble to kind of get him to fit in just the right way, the character still isn't tall enough to see outside the porthole, and it looks a little bit awkward just staring at the brown beanie. So I suppose the minifigures going in and out of this vehicle are probably my least favorite aspect, but let me get to the last build of the set now. This is the hot dog stand, or it's the hot noodle dog stand. I have no idea how many different hot dog stands actually exist within the LEGO universe, but this is one of the cooler ones. I like the detailing that goes all around. Yes, these are all stickers, but the signage or the build on the top that shows the sort of big hot dog is really awesome. It feels really complete with Namas and Nancy standing next to the stand, and there's also this fun little function where 2 of the walls at the bottom are actually car door pieces where you can access some extra hot dog parts that you can sort of store on the inside. Now I think I've gone through all the different aspects of the set. Here it is all together. The Shark Mech appropriately stands out as the king of all of the Shark Army vehicles, both in sort of the general quality of the build and of course the matching color combination. The design of the mech itself sort of has a nostalgic value to me, and the general build showing off the shark looks pretty excellent at this size. The set comes with 6 minifigs, which is great, 2 of which I think are going to be really popular amongst collectors, and I'd say this is one of my favorite vehicle sets to come from the LEGO Ninjago movie line. Alright, that is it for this episode, everybody. Thanks a lot for watching. Remember, if you enjoy our content, you can always like or subscribe, and we'll see you next time at BrickVault.